Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank all of you for being here with us this afternoon for an update and a discussion on our ongoing efforts to build upon policing here in the city of Buffalo. Before I begin, I want to recognize and thank some people who are with us today. First, Buffalo Police Deputy Commissioner Patrick Overdorf. I want to thank the Deputy Commissioner for his continued efforts on a daily basis, but also for his approach to policing and his desire to make sure that we are bringing the community into the fold when we are determining policies for the city of Buffalo when it comes to our police department. I want to thank the members of the Foot Patrol Integration Unit for the tremendous efforts they've put forth the past 4, 5, 6 months out walking the beat throughout the community, every corner of the city of Buffalo, on every street in this city. In particular, I want to thank Lieutenants Andrew Shea and James Otwell for spearheading the team and the tremendous effort that they've put in, not just leading the team, but leading by example and out walking the streets throughout the city of Buffalo personally. Earlier this year, right here outside of the Broadway Market, we launched the Buffalo Police Department's Foot Patrol Integration Unit. Since then, the members of this unit have spent the summer and early fall months walking every single street across the city of Buffalo, engaging with residents, business owners, and different stakeholders. As part of Phase 1, the department introduced a public survey, inviting residents to share feedback and their experience and their concerns regarding life in the city of Buffalo. And by increasing visibility, building trust, and promoting communication, the Foot Patrol Integration Unit allows officers to work hand in hand with residents, with block clubs, with different neighborhood organizations to address issues they're seeing before they become major problems. Today, we're here to announce the successful completion of Phase 1 of this initiative, an effort that reflects my administration's ongoing commitment to community policing and data-based decision-making in public safety. This survey, developed in partnership with Professors Jacob Nieheisel and Ryan Muldoon of the University of Buffalo, as well as Professor Jake Monahan of the University of Southern California, gathered feedback from more than 3,000 Buffalo residents across the city of Buffalo. Residents were asked how safe they feel about life in their neighborhoods, what they see as their biggest challenges, and how the presence of foot patrol officers has influenced their sense of safety, as well as their trust in law enforcement. These results give us an important look at how community policing is being received citywide, and just as importantly, where we can continue to grow and improve when it comes to policing in the city of Buffalo. Just a quick overview. This survey confirms what we already knew, what we believed, and that residents and business owners in Buffalo overwhelmingly support the Foot Patrol Integration Unit. They want to see officers out walking, talking, and working collaboratively to address their concerns. Some of the major takeaways from this survey is that across every district, residents identified traffic and speeding, car thefts and break-ins, problem houses, ATVs and dirt bikes, and gun violence as their top concerns. Now that we are equipped with this data, these insights will directly shape how the Buffalo Police Department allocates resources and engages with residents moving forward. This is a new approach to policing in the Buffalo Police Department. This is about listening, not dictating how things are going to go. This is about listening and then responding with action. Our officers hear these concerns every day, and this data helps us align our priorities with what residents are truly experiencing in our neighborhoods. To talk a little bit more about what our officers are experiencing in our neighborhood and to share more about the survey and the feedback that has come into the fold with the Buffalo Police Department, I want to welcome to the podium Buffalo Police Deputy Commissioner Patrick Overdorf.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I'd like to thank the mayor's staff for working tirelessly to refine and collate the data that we received to make it more available for analysis for us to move forward with this next phase. Obviously, the purpose of this unit was to increase visibility, engage the community members, and increase those relationships within those communities. To that end, these officers behind me walked every street in the city. From Broadway to Hurdle, from Niagara to Bailey, they hit every street. They talked to residents, they engaged with them, they received their feedback, they listened to their concerns, and as a result developed long-lasting relationships between citizens and the department. As the mayor mentioned, we have received thousands of responses from the residents of the city from the surveys that were handed out. but that's only the first part of this program. That increased feedback and that visibility now transitions to an accountability phase, where we have heard what the people want and now we must act on it. This will be spearheaded by this unit behind me, the Foot Patrol unit. They will be out conducting more of a hybrid type model. They will be still out walking, engaging with the community members for part of their shift, but they'll also be using part of their shift to engage with what those concerns directly are. For example, as mentioned, one of the consistent themes of the survey responses was issues with traffic and traffic enforcement. So what these officers will do will spend first shift in a neighborhood or a district or a sector engaging with community members, hearing what they're concerned about, and in that second shift they'll get into cars and directly start enforcing those problem intersections, those problem stop signs, those things that we heard about in the surveys and on the street. Obviously this unit can't have citywide reach at all times. Therefore, this unit will be supplemented by personnel from the districts. So the district personnel will have had access to, continue to have access to that data that was in the surveys, and they will work hand in hand with this unit in enforcing those same types of concerns such as traffic enforcement, car poppers, break-ins, that kind of stuff. These officers behind me, specifically the lieutenants, will be made available at different district community members if community members want to come to the chiefs meetings that we hold monthly and engage further with these officers directly. If they have in a more intimate setting, if they have direct questions for them, they can get more information on that. Also, if residents still want to do a survey, if they missed it the first time around or didn't receive one or might have lost it and still want to participate, please reach out to the Buffalo Police Department and we'll provide that specific sector-based survey to them, as well as if they want to show up to a community meeting with the chiefs in the districts, they will be provided at that time. If there's one clear takeaway from this project thus far, is that both residents and officers alike have been overwhelmingly positive about it. The residents truly enjoy officers getting out of cars, engaging directly with them, speaking to them in a non-police call type setting and building those relationships. And the officers conversely like doing the same thing. They like getting out of cars, directly engaging with residents of the city, the citizens, hearing what their concerns are, and just being out there exercising and learning communities that they might not know too much about. Finally, before I finish, I'd just like to thank the residents of the city who took the time to complete the survey. Rest assured that your voice is not only just being heard, but it is being acted upon. Your voice and your responses are driving directly the strategies and policies of this department going forward. So thank you for taking your time to do that. And with that, I turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you, Deputy. Just wanted to thank one other person and one group before we finish up. I want to thank Buffalo Police Commissioner Alfonso Wright. As police commissioner, he could have pushed back on this idea, but no, this is something that he absolutely loves. Being one of the very first community police officers in the city of Buffalo, Commissioner Wright dove into this head first with the deputy commissioners and has led by example and done a tremendous job with this Foot Patrol integration unit. So I want to thank the commissioner. And as the deputy mentioned, I want to thank the residents of the city of Buffalo for taking the time to take part in the survey. And as the deputy did mention, want them to know that they have been heard, that their opinions will be acted upon, and they'll see that directly resulting in policy within the Buffalo Police Department. As I mentioned, this was phase one, but this is just the beginning of this ongoing effort. And in the months to come, the department will use the data that we've talked about to inform patrol strategies and deepen connections with every neighborhood here in the city of Buffalo. As we promised, all of this data, when we announced this program, we promised that this data will be available to people. The survey results will be made available on the city's website for different residents, researchers, and community organizations to review. So again, I want to thank the members of the Foot Patrol Integration Unit for the tremendous work they've done over the course of the past few months, and look forward to working with them in this community well into the future to make sure that Buffalo is the safest version of itself. With that, we can open it to any questions. There's little changes here and there, but I think the overwhelming thing we're taking away from this is that people feel unified when it comes to what they're looking to see from their police department. And, I referenced those kind of 5 things that almost every area of the city, Buffalo touched on, whether it's traffic and speeding, ATVs, problem houses, gun violence, those 4 or 5 top issues really resonated across the board. And the thing that we saw maybe the highest agreement upon was the actual foot patrols themselves. You know, people were overwhelmingly supportive of the idea of officers in the neighborhood talking to them, talking to business owners and other organizations to make sure that we're on the same page. You guys have all heard me say that in the past, that when we're all on the same page, pulling in the same direction, that's when we're at the best version of ourselves. So I think that's what was most overwhelming from the results of the survey.
The foot patrols were mostly daytime hours, or were they?
You want to talk about how it was broken up?
So yeah, this unit specifically worked from the hours from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that was their main focus during the day, where they could most capitalize on people being home and or out on their lawns working on things and engaging with them then. So we figured daylight hours was probably the best time to do that, the optimal time. But this is kind of something we'll review and see if that is the optimal time. If we want to move that around going forward to better engage, we'll look at that then.
When we were out with one of those tools and the community seemed to love it, is there any thoughts to expand the team, making it even more larger out there?
Yeah, obviously we want as many officers out engaging with as many members of the community as possible on a regular basis. Obviously there's resources that are required to do that, but we'll continue to push this program. I think that you're already seeing the fruit that it's bearing, you know, the communication between us. It's not every day you get more than 3,000 people to respond to a survey. So the fact that people are motivated to take the time to respond to it clearly means a lot to them. And we're obviously, like we mentioned, the Deputy Commissioner mentioned, we'll take that information and put it in action.
Now, there's a concern of a lot of officers and tech retiring soon because of the healthcare. Do you see that as an issue?
The one thing I've said all along, the best part about this unit is these are all people that wanted to do this. You know, this Foot Patrol Integration Unit is not officers that were pushed into this or required to do this. These were people who volunteered because they know how important this is to this community, and I think that you won't have a shortage of officers who want to do this well into the future.
Would this be a first of its kind in the country model, or is this something that's already been duplicated in other cities?
You know, I like to think that, and I think the Deputy Commissioner can talk about this a little bit as well, but, you know, I like to think that we're being very innovative with this. You know, a lot of time police officers, police departments are criticized locally across the country for the way they operate, but we are making sure that we're communicating with our community. We want the community to have a say in how they're policed. You know, if we don't know what's going on in our neighborhoods, we can't address those issues. And so opening up those lines of communication through this survey and just having officers out talking to the community members, I think it's really innovative. I don't know if you want to talk. No. So that's what's incredible about this and what the amazing work that these officers put into this. In just a few short months, these officers walked every single street in the city of Buffalo, putting up survey on every home, business, everywhere they could put one so that people could respond to this and we'd have as much input from the public as possible. So again, want to commend the Deputy Commissioner, the lieutenants, and the officers who've really put a tremendous amount of work into this effort, this initiative over the course of the past few months.
How many receptors were there on the team?
Sorry.
Number of members on the team.
So there was initially 4 lieutenants and 16 officers, so 8 assigned to each side. We have lost some to attrition through promotions and that kind of stuff, but that was the initial setup, was 4 lieutenants, 2 on each side, and 16 total officers with 8 on each side.
Mayor, there's a clear collaboration between your office and the police department.
Yeah.
This program, is there any concern that this will not continue with the next administration? I know that that's something you can't control.
No. Yeah, I can't control that. The only thing that I can speak to is I'm well aware of the level of commitment of these officers and that they have when it comes to this community. You know, no one forced these officers to become police officers. This is something they've done of their own volition, something that they wanted to do. They wanted to give back to this community, be a part of making this community the best version of itself. So like I said, whether it's pending retirements or anything like that, you're going to have no shortage of officers who want to be out communicating with our public and making sure that we're responding to the public in a manner that they agree with. All right. Thank you, everyone.